Our good friend, the Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, Jim Cawley.
Thanks, David. Well, I will tell you that it's going to be a very brief speech, because in buying time for the fabulous video, most of what I was going to say has already been said. Hopefully we will be able to have whatever glitches taken care of, but if you don't have that opportunity, I believe there is an opportunity online. MainStreetDoesItBetter.com. Go on and take a look. And Dave, I want to thank you for your kind and, as I asked, brief introduction. And it's very good to be with you here again. I'm honored, actually, to share the stage with Scott Rasmussen, who is, of course, a leading pollster, analyst, and commentator, and now I understand as well a best-selling author. So it's a great pleasure to share the podium with him. And last night, I know you all heard from our great governor, Tom Corbett, and he told me of the wonderful reception that you gave him, and we appreciate that. And he asked me to stop by today to share with you exactly how things are going with privatization, and more importantly, perhaps, what it is that all of you wonderful activists can do to help to move the ball forward. Dave mentioned it, but I'll start by saying happy anniversary, everyone. It has been 80 years since, in my judgment, the people of the United States of America exercised their good judgment in repealing prohibition. But I will tell you that since 1933, with a few cosmetic changes, there really hasn't been that much of a change in the way Pennsylvanians have access to wine and spirits in this state. In fact, we are one of only 2 states remaining that still have what's called a full control system, us and Utah. Well, Tom Corbett believes, and I believe, that it's time for the state to get out of this business and put it in the hands of the private sector where it belongs. You see, Governor Corbett and I believe that the people of this state should have the same convenience, the same selection, the same competitive pricing that only the private sector can provide. We also believe as well that it's time for the Liquor Control Board to get out of this schizophrenic relationship with itself. Think of it. What other industry is charged both with sales of a product and oversight of that same product? It doesn't exist anywhere except in the LCB, and it is time for us to end that conflict and empower the Liquor Control Board to focus on enforcement. Now, there are opponents to privatization who believe that if we do this, that we will unleash the horsemen of the apocalypse on our fair commonwealth. Without state employees at cash registers, how can our society survive? What you will see from the wonderful video that NFIB put together is that the private sector is effectively doing this job elsewhere, and it should be doing it here. The truth of the matter is, the only thing running wild in the state of Delaware are Pennsylvania consumers looking for bargains. The reality is simply this. Instead of going to Total Wines in Delaware or New Jersey, we want Pennsylvanians to buy their wine in Philadelphia. Instead of driving up I-90 to Premier Wine and Spirits in New York, we want Pennsylvanians to buy their spirits in Erie. Instead of running to Youngstown, Ohio, or Binghamton, New York, we want you to shop in Pittsburgh and Scranton. You know, now, those who might do exactly what I just said, and some of these folks that we saw briefly on the video, I am sure, I am positive that the moment they cross back into Pennsylvania, they contact the Secretary of the Department of Revenue, Dan Muser, and pay their state tax. But that's such a cumbersome process. They shouldn't be expected to do that. We've got to end border bleed and empower the private sector here in Pennsylvania to create jobs for Pennsylvanians and increase revenues in Pennsylvania. You know, Ronald Reagan once joked, he said, the closest that we come to eternal life here on earth is a government agency. But for the first time in a long time, we have a real chance to bring mortality to a government agency that has outlived its usefulness. On March 21st of this year, history was made. And the House of Representatives voted for House Bill 790, and I know that there are several members of the House here today. Please join me in thanking them for taking that courageous step. And it was indeed a team effort. And the administration in particular wants to thank a couple of people that we know are here, including Kevin Shivers and the wonderful folks at NFIB, Matt Briette and the Commonwealth Foundation, and Dave Taylor and the Manufacturers Association. These great leaders were instrumental in getting it done for us. And we know that all of you were a part of that effort as well. You called your representatives. You wrote letters to the editor. You called in to radio stations. You made a difference in moving the ball forward. And on behalf of Governor Corbett, I want to thank each and every one of you. But I tell you, the work is far from over. There is much more that needs to be done, and conservatives cannot sit it out on this one. We need you to call your senator, whether Republican or Democrat, and let them know how important this issue is, because poll after poll has told us that there is strong support for this issue regardless of party. Let your voice be heard on this important issue. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? I'll tell you this. Tom Corbett is not going to let up on this issue. Jim Cawley is not going to let up on this issue. And we need you to get off the sidelines and into the fight, because together, we will truly make history, and we will bring real change to our Commonwealth. Thank you for everything that you have done and that you will do on this important issue. Let's go get them.